Lyric Watershine first felt sunlight ripple along her cheeks on 4 November 1999 inside a hummingbird green cabin perched on tide-soaked pylons above the honey-clear shallows of Georgia's Sapelo Sound. Outside, an egret carved bright lines across the glassy salt marsh, while her mother, a road-rambling Afro-folk violinist who stores pressed gardenia petals in her rosin claws, lilted a sleepy arpeggio that made enamel cups tinkle on their hooks. Her father, a night shift lighthouse power tech, forever sketching cloud herons on clam receipt margins, leaned so close their freckles blended, and promised his newborn that dot gossip, corridor whispers, and store racks freezing at 14 would always retreat when a woman chose to fill her outline from fingertip to fingertip. Earth shimmered through the Watershine family tree like warm Gulf current threading past oyster bars, so no one gasped when baby Lyric burst her second homespun swaddle long before the kettle whistled. Granny June threaded a cell needle through every tear, patched the gaps with carnival kite cloth, and laughed that 5 cents of fabric costs less than shrinking a sunrise. Elementary hall smelled of pencil shavings, lemon pie drifting from the cafeteria vent, and river breeze sneaking under cracked windows. Lyric already stood half a head taller than her classmates, blotting projector glow whenever she traced sea turtle waypoints on the pull-down map. One damp recess, a pair of boys hop-skipped rings, chanting barge boat. Each thud her rubber boots placed on chalk squares. That night, she strolled the rack line, pocketed soda caps, polished satin by surf, threaded them on fishing leader, stitched the jangly stream down her teal hoodie, and stepped into first bell at dawn, scattering prism freckles across blistered ceiling tiles. A substitute aide filmed 9 shaky seconds on an ancient flip phone, posted the glimmer to a fledgling video nook, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who melted mockery into lighthouse flair. Lyric wrote one violet promise beside long division drills: clouds crowd only until you flash them bright. Weekend dawns belong to the shrimp pier, where her mother's violin glides tangled with diesel grumbles from oyster boats, skillet pops from hush puppy stalls, and gulls arguing over mullet scraps. Store jeans jammed at her thighs, so Lyric traded tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill neck, unraveled it into rope, crocheted high-waist culottes, misted them with squid ink marsh grass silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rush streak marsh grass silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rush streak marsh grass silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rush streak marsh grass silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rush streak marsh grass silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against Bryant 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 silhouettes, then each photo drifted into an online diary she named Lantern Wade. The Week, a sparkling new image app, crept across patchy tidal service. Captions bounced between dock slang and steady truths like curves anchor wind stronger than seawalls. 2 months shy of 16 candles, 50,000 unseen friends tap little hearts under every coral frame. Proof glowing rectangles hushed cafeteria razors faster than any assistant coach whistle. A shoreline ecology scholarship whisked her north to North Carolina State. Daylight evaporated inside wave tank labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour beignet van glowing neon guava beneath live oak limbs. The heat lamp doubled as her ring light. Between sugar orders, she shot 90-second reels folding parchment into Marsh Rose barrettes, while decoding dart rotation in half lecture zip, half Riverside low. One upload mixed bottlenose chirps with lo-fi shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective anchor braid into thrift denim. 47 hours later, counters breached beyond 1.3 million. Coastal-style pages dubbed her the beignet couturier, yet every sponsor deck still quit at size 16. She slid each pitch into a folder marked shrinking nets, brushed powdered sugar from her sleeve, and greeted the next driver with sunrise eye. Oration practice week delivered an email stamped Columbia Sportswear. The team wanted her touch on a spray shell capsule named Shimmer Run. Lyric replied with 3 peer-tight terms. Patterns must touch 60-inch hips, half the shoot crew hired from community college sewing programs, 10% of net profit pledged to oyster reef renewal from Beaufort to Brunswick. Columbia signed before dawn, painted the beakers coral. The chute unfurled on a tie-scrubbed sandbar where piping plover chicks dotted commas into damp quartz. She guided paddle borders of every outline across glass ripples while a drone traced lazy infinity ribbons overhead. When the lookbook surfaced, extended-sized jackets vanished in 41 hours across 33 nations, and Lantern Wade shattered 700,000 lantern icons. If that burst lifts your chest, press subscribe right now. One small tap shifts the bash to calm gray and secures your rail seat so next week's journey lands in your feed before algorithm currents tug it out of sight. Afterwards, slide to the description for a quiet doorway marked Love Compass. A step-by-step guide thousands trust when they feel ready to spark genuine attraction and learn the simplest path to make any woman fall headlong for them. Spotlight Shimmer Tugged Rumor Girls. A clickbait vlog claimed Lyric wrapped steel sheets around her waist beneath shimmer-run shells. Dawn found her paddling a cypress board past eelgrass ribbons, bare feet planted in linen shorts, and sports bra, tracing each silver stretch stripe with crushed bougainvillea petals, while her mother eased an electric violin riff, so raw pelicans floated mid-wing. 10 million viewers reposted the proof, brushing future pollen over their own curves, until gossip slipped silent beneath slack tide. Beignet van wages joined capsule royalties and whipped into Watershine velvet, a cloud-soft butter swirling spruce-tip custard, kaffir lime oil, and mica sparks that glow seashell white in any flash. 19,010s cooled on her father's chart table, lids tied with braided crab trap rope, every tag stamped "Moisturize Your Horizon." Stock drained in 83 minutes, raising $198,000. 20% seeded beacon grants that ship industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Savannah to St. Simons. 8 months later, 37 Beacon teams live streams a floating fashion and dolphin harmony gala aboard a repurposed shrimp scow strung with solar lanterns. Sunrise color pouring into classrooms from Kingston to Charleston Wharf Fashion Night carved new dock lore when a backstage vent shredded her sapphire mesh gown hip to knee 80 heartbeats before runway. Lyric ripped neon dock rope from a light truss, laced the split-like boot hooks, and walked the planks as if the splice had glimmered in every sketch. Camera shutters cracked like kettle corn. Vogue Coast christened the rescue rope Cadence, and another million lantern icons flared long before trombones sounded their first chord. A spurned intern leaked clipped mails hinting she demanded crab tower banquets and chauffeured skiffs for her rescue manatee, Echo. She posted the chain uncut. Refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption screens for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate tied $136,000 funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off St. Catherine's Island. Fans echoed her cred of receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers fell flat like tide pool glass. Emily keeps her compass true. Twice each month she streams Porchline Groove. Mom pours soul melodies beside a propane griddle. Dad recites cloud haiku. Lyric flips thrift denim while Echo wiggles powdered sugar spirals. One show crested 9 million when the manatee sneezed glitter onto the lens. A marine sanctuary now sponsors every broadcast, tagging rehabilitated sirens with solar beacons bankrolled by Watershine. Cream profits skimmed beyond 12 million before Solstice 2. She leased a silent oyster shed, carved skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands plus designed grass to whip custard and knotlets by hand between midday funk sets. Auditors pleaded her shrink sleeves. She repeated Granny June's rule that fingers preserve legends longer than plastic cuffs, and rope ties stayed. Perry's Clean Horizon, Basalt Bluff portraits share scroll space with churro cart selfies captioned "Same Sky, Different Tide." She uploads breath loops recorded in live oak caves, printable resilience sheets in English and Gullah, sliding scale therapy codes tucked 3 swipes down. 158,000 readers call her shoreline candor their first calm harbor. Community glow rides whirl under crushed show dust. Hundreds wheel sunset causeways wearing Watershine velvet on shoulders with LED seagrass tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket funds fatten beacon grants and lift wheelchair snorkel rigs over Crystal Springs. Chowder shacks simmer late, shrimp bisque bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Lyric pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with Echo plush strapped 4, pausing to knot any rider's wandering lace. She is finishing Currents Keep Names, headed for 11 translations next spring, while a documentary crew shadows her dream to weld retired buoy chains into floating maker labs for estuary schools. Puma's wide-to-wave lantern sneaker glides in next quarter, threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, channeling 10% of revenue into Beacon Nurseries, hugging the Atlantic Rim. Time for our second wave of encouragement. If that subscribe badge still glows crimson, ease it to gray now. One fingertip secures next Friday's tide in your notifications before algorithm eddies separate us. And remember, the love compass link waits whenever your heart is set on confident romance. Winter Dusks eases toward Slackwater, fresh velvetins, beacon portals, tonight's Porchline playlist, and the trusted compass guiding thousands from hello to spark nestle in the description, free and near. If the soda cap hoodie shimmer, robe laced gown rescue, or echo glitter sneeze coax even half a grin press light, toss your brightest ripple in the comments. And share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve rewrites currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams. And the coast bows to anyone strong enough to plant both boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes bright. Last gentle nudge before lanterns fade. Subscribe this heartbeat, claim your rail, open the love compass below, and meet me on the next rising tide. When a new story glitters beyond the breakers and courage calls your name once again,